Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can get us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you the initial checkout of what would be a 2554 Western Electric, better known as a mini wall telephone. And these are very sought after telephones. These were a very good telephone. They were made rather well, and when people get these and they have them for a long time, they like them and they want to keep them. I talked to the customer on this one, and Carl sent this in. And this is what we've come up with is a home repair that has gone really bad. So it's a home repair gone bad. And it came in a bag, and there was a bunch of parts. This was loose, and we've got this off the dial, or the keypad, I mean. And what I was told by Carl was this telephone wouldn't dial out. It had, it basically had one tone. He said it just would have one tone, and the keypad wouldn't dial out. Well, he's got a buddy that repairs computers, and the buddy says, well, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Just open up the keypad. All it needs to be done is the contacts need to be cleaned. And I stopped Carl at that point and said, well, Carl, that's, you know, it doesn't need the contacts cleaned if it was sounding all at one tone. Because if you're pushing the buttons and you're getting a tone out of it, it wouldn't be dirty contacts. There's another issue going on. Well, anyway, his buddy told him to go ahead and take it apart and clean the contacts, and Carl told me that he got really deep into it. So that means that he must have meant he went really deep into the woods with the keypad. The good news is Carl made it out of the woods, but the bad news is the telephone did not. The keypad, the 3 is actually pushed in and locked in, and some of these won't push in at all, and others will push in sometimes and then lock, like the star button just locked. And I think if you push the 2 it'll come up, or it was earlier. But anyway, there it goes. It's like a telephone on hold now. But anyway, I like to see these problems when they exist. When somebody's been into them and they create other problems, it's hard for me to determine exactly what the problem was to begin with, and I don't like to guess. I like to be 100% sure of what's going on. In this case now, I'm going to have to go into the keypad, and I'm going to have to try to repair this keypad. If this keypad's not repairable, I'm going to have to replace it. But then I have to go back and say, well, you know, I have to figure out why the telephone was dialing out in one tone. And it would probably have something to do with the keypad. But that's something I would have liked to have seen for myself. So basically it's kind of a home repair gone bad. There's another thing that's going on here. Sometimes the hook switch doesn't come back. It's coming back at this point now, but it was sticking before, so I've got to get into that and find out what's going on with that. And another issue was the bridge rectifier. I'm not sure if that was just kind of open because they peeked in it to see what was going on, or if they thought maybe there was a problem in there. The other issue with this telephone is now the modular handset cord plug, the port, is broken. This is kind of just stuck in there. That's been broken, so that's broken. That has to be replaced. And these plugs, these ports are getting hard to find for the line and for the handset cord. When they get old to a certain age, they start getting brittle and they will break. And they're not really making these anymore. There may be a company that's making them, but for the most part, you have to rely off of either new old stock or parts out of a parts phone. The other issue is the customer has high-speed internet, and the phone guy that came into his home and installed the high-speed internet did some real weird stuff back here. He pulled out the original plug that would have plugged it into the wall on a wall mount jack, a hanging jack, and he crimped on a modular plug on the tip and ring, because this telephone sits on a plate now that has high-speed internet, and that is kind of strange to me, because they make a high-speed internet wall jack for this telephone, and when it had its original plug coming out of here, it should have just plugged right in. So I really don't know why all this ended up the way it did, but I assume that the phone company guy went ahead and took it upon himself and got together with Carl and just came up with this ideal here, because the wall plate he had must have not been the right one or not sufficient or something. But usually the phone company will charge you for things like that, but and I don't know them to really, we do that type of work here, and I've never known the phone company here in the last few years to really do anything like this for you. They won't even mess with it usually, so I'm not sure how that got to be like that, unless this has been like this for quite a while. Generally the phone company guys won't touch things like this, but in this case he did, and it's working. It's not an issue. It's not the way I would have handled it, but it's working, and if it's not if it's working, don't fix it. So and he's used to it being like that. But what we need to do is get the telephone back together again, and I'm going to have to go into the keypad and see what I can do for the keypad and see if we can't save it. So this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can get us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Appreciate you watching. Thank you, and have a great day.